around with another man's wife. But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys. Threw my boss out the window and got fired from my last job. Hot wired a slug and turned it.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wade and Carter Show.
Sometimes you're glad the mics aren't hot.
Yes, sir. Stephanie Connie, Scott Tomko, Ricky King on the podium. Marina, good morning. Just missing the podium this morning.
Hello, Marina.
Wade and Carter weather brought to you by the great folks at AT Deerland Hay, Feed, and Ranch Services. Ryegrass seed is in. Go get it. Get it down this weekend if you want to mow and have lush green grass all winter long, because rye is a cold season grass.
Now on the main stage, put your hands together for Marina.
Oh, don't even go there.
46 degrees in Victoria.
You know you're going to get gut
I
punched.
know. I can't wait to see
Thursday.
her. I can't wait to see her. Says it's raining in Victoria. I did not witness such precipitation. Maybe a slight drizzle.
Roads were a little damp this morning.
56 degrees. Moist, were they dank? 56 degrees for a high. Why is it? We talk about this. But why is it that all the words for something being not dry are they kind of have a derogatory, I guess being wetness is bad in life. I mean, I don't understand that. I don't get it. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Things that go into my head and sometimes come out to you folks. By the way, welcome Magic 95.9 here in Victoria. Lilo Arguelles and the Mothership, forever grateful for the original platform. Not the original, but the original. I mean, Ash and I used to do the show at Veracruz Restaurant, if you want to know the truth.
That's how it started,
and
be
then,
honest.
And then
we'd have that whole back room in stitches listening to our eavesdropping on our conversation.
So we did that show there for a while. And then we went on AM radio, and our audience actually dipped. We had fewer listeners when we went on AM radio than we did at Veracruz. And now, Lilo says 40,000 listeners a day.
Well, yeah, with the viewers and the listeners and the
my
people
mom.
on the YouTubes and the website and the app. And we're all over and in all sorts of countries.
And the feds. And the Facebook Nazis, they're all listening.
We should do like one of those graphics and see where we've in
like a pie chart
on a little pin map.
Well, we've been just yesterday, Cody. We were in Israel. We were in Prague, in Czechia. Turn to my
and Canada,
Eastern European brother to know. Oh man, Cody!
What?
Total faux pas. He just didn't have your mic on.
He wasn't in the room.
I'm always in the room.
You are somewhat omnipresent.
Odorous.
The commander can be in both rooms at once. I've seen it. Yes.
It can be. Junior says raining in nursery. Scott Tomko says drizzling in Northcrest.
Fantastic. I see you completed the Wordle this morning.
I did.
Yesterday, I did not get the word tulip. You did.
Oh, in 3 guesses.
Well, see, that's what we call luck.
No luck. It's all strategy.
Yeah.
Strategy.
Yeah.
Strategic tragedy. Jordan Glass checking in. Michelle Wilson-Hawkins, Jr., Brad Mitchell, Heather Stewart, Lisa Poole, Sherry Jacobs.
Go down. I got
Micah
one
Patton.
for you. So Michelle
David
Wilson-Hawkins is and by the way, welcome. I haven't seen you in a while. Talking about the Texas Tomorrow Fund. I had 2 of those when my kids were in college, and the only advantage to the Texas Tomorrow Fund over what's it called, Cody? Look up the equivalent. It's like it's a contributory savings.
457?
I think it's a 547. Anyway, whatever it is.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a type of IRA, I guess, basically. I mean, it's a 547 account. The difference is the trade-off was the 6-7 of it, if you will. 529. Thank you, Michelle Wilson-Hawkins. The difference is
a fact checker. Didn't even fact check it. He just agreed with you and said, yep, that's it.
Yep, that's exactly what I did.
But the idea was that you could, at Texas universities, it was an inflation guard more than anything else. If you contributed the amount over the period of time, you were guaranteed.
As long as, once you locked in,
Yeah.
you were guaranteed that was all you were going to have to contribute, and that would cover your tuition at any Texas public school.
Right. So it was like insurance and a savings plan. The difference is if you go into a 529, and those of you that are young parents, I recommend you get with someone you trust. And I would set up a 529 because anything that you can rationalize is associated with education for your child. Housing, groceries, transportation. When you get that child older, you can buy them a vehicle to go to college out of the tax-free, I believe. Maybe not. Maybe tax deferred at any rate.
Advice given on the Wade and Carter show is not that of
Right,
certified.
that's right. You need to talk to somebody like
We're not CPAs.
Yeah. So there you go. Good deal.
Well, I mean, this just proves a terrible idea. I don't know. I mean, it seemed like a good idea if you were a parent and get into it.
It's a good idea for me.
But it was no different than the Soviet Union and their price controls that kept everything in 1950s prices. And when the wall fell and the Soviet Union collapsed, all of a sudden Russians
here's what needs
had to pay
happen.
1990s prices on things they hadn't paid 1960s prices on because the prices have been frozen since the 1950s.
Here's what nobody thinks about, and it's like the not politically correct thing to say, which makes it perfect for our program. What needs to happen, you look at a school like the University of Texas that does a lot of research and all that. They've got what's the current number of the endowment? It's like 35 or 50, pick a number, $1 billion of endowment money. It's just sitting there. That university's got so much money, they don't know what to do. And they don't look at places like Harvard, all the Ivy League schools and all that. What they need to do at those schools is grossly increase the entrance requirements. Everybody doesn't get to go to A&M just because their dad went to A&M. A&M's in the same boat. Lots of money. What they need to do is grossly increase the entrance requirements. Everybody doesn't deserve the D1 college experiment. Half of them go to school for a year, come home. I mean, it's just the way it is.
Well, the top 10% rule, it's basically become a top what? Is it still even in effect? I don't know. But
no,
basically
at a place like Texas, it's down to 6 or 7%,
yeah.
just because there's no room for them. And the population of our schools keeps going up. So as a result, 6% is what 10% used to be. But those kids should go to school for free. There should be no college debt. And here's the deal. The ones that don't get in, they gravitate to the trades and they gravitate to the places that they need to be. That doesn't mean they can't go to Victoria College and then eventually maybe transfer to a school. But if you are in the educated elite, don't care what color you are, don't care where you came from, also don't care if you're an inner city minority and you can't get there, tough. Because there's an Asian kid studying math out behind a Chinese restaurant working his tail off by candlelight who will beat your kid there. So good for him.
Junior says not every kid needs to go to college. We need plumbers, electricians, service guys. The thing is, though, now you have to go to college to get certified in those trades.
Well, you have to go to like a trade school. But I'm saying at the
community college,
at the highest level, this is not a social elite deal at all. You can go back. I guarantee you, if you go back and look at the last 10 valedictorians at both East and West High School, I bet you half of them aren't quote unquote white. There are some sharp kids in all of our schools, and they should go to college for free. And you pick a number, that's top 10%, whatever. Because then some people are going to say, well, no, you need those other kids to pay the bills. Bunk. That's a lie. UT could pay for every kid to go to school and their housing on interest on their endowment without ever touching it. And the
Their
endowment
endowment-
grows every year.
Their endowment probably produces more GDP than some small countries in Africa.
Certainly more than Somalia. You can bet. Did you know that these Somalis, and by the again, continuing the unpopular until you stop and think for a minute position, these Somali folks coming over here, invited by Minnesota,
Stealing our money, our tax dollars. Heard yesterday that there's some investigations going on in Maine into the Somali population in that state who allegedly are pulling the same crap that is being pulled in Minnesota right now.
this deal of you can just go
So
dial
don't
up.
tell me it's not a racket when certain enclaves are able to do this same thing.
Okay.
Apparently allegedly there's a formula and they're following it now in Maine. Who tips them off to this stuff? Ilhan Omar?
Andy Rockovich, be nice, but apparently you don't read Facebook. The idea is that these folks are coming over and wanting to impose their Muslim will upon our country. That's right. It's our country. You assimilate, you learn the language. You don't have to worship my God. You don't. I don't care if you worship at all. But you don't get to impose your religion on our country. This is the most crazy, hypocritical gap in the history of the world. I read a deal yesterday where some Muslim folks, and wherever they were, you may recall, got all bent out of shape. The grocery store had put in a section of food for them that was for the Muslim community. It's, I don't know, in your mind, think like kosher. It was their kind of food.
Halal?
Halal. It was halal. The Muslims went in and complained that it was too close to the infidels' bacon. Now, I've never known a group of people more pushy than the Jews. The Jews don't even complain about where the bacon is at H-E-B. So I don't have a problem. By the way, Ash made a great point to me this morning. Is there any reason that some entrepreneurial Somali doesn't open a halal grocery store? Maybe one that even takes WIC? Because studies show that these people work and make 30 grand in the work world. They're below the poverty line, and then they get another 50 grand in benefits average from the United States government.
Well, in Minnesota, they've opened up deli/grocery stores, and then they've ripped off SNAP by saying they're feeding 4,000 people who qualify for SNAP a day when they were feeding 30.
It is
probably not even enough to keep their doors open.
It is acceptable in the Muslim religion to lie to you to undermine the infidels. And if
I don't know enough about it to comment on.
I read it somewhere, so I'm just going to say it because I want to. But here's the deal: you don't like it, fact check it. I wish more people would fact check things. If you just Google up, Cody, while we're talking, if you Google up Muslim mosques in Dallas County on a map, you won't believe it. You won't believe it. And if you don't think these people are going to organize and decide they want to inject themselves into local government and then they want to inject their ways, I listened on Breitbart this morning.
Quick question, because apparently the Afghani that shot the two National Guards troops, I want to be somewhat politically correct,
which is stupid, but go ahead, that you have to do that. Right, be small, but at least the Baptist mosques don't say, well, let's go out and kill the Catholics. And the Baptists don't say, you got the beer too close to the bread. See the hypocrisy? These people need to go, folks.
Yeah, they're now saying that this Afghan gunman killer, murderer, an attempted murderer, was radicalized in the United States. Where would that have happened?
Probably at a mosque or an AA meeting. What you got to be leery of, and don't get me wrong. Look, in the same vein that I can say to you, I don't believe that gay people deserve extra rights. I can also tell you I've got gay friends that I respect and like. I don't ask them what they do in their bedroom. And guess what? They don't rub it in my face. They don't walk around with, big foam penises on their heads. This is not debauchery week in New Orleans.
Lonnie Vickery says he saw a post yesterday about an upcoming investigation in Ohio regarding Somalis there.
Somali corruption is redundant. Did you know?
This is organized crime at this point, folks. It's pretty apparent. It's no different than the mafia. No different than the cartels.
And they ask these people, would you rather live in the U.S. or Somalia? And they go, oh, I'd much rather be home in my home country of Somalia.
Yeah,
well,
there was a street reporter out asking the folks, I think in Minnesota, wasn't it, where they'd rather be. Every one of them answered back in Somalia.
Yeah, but it's Minnesota. It's cold all the time.
Yeah, but you know what?
It's the land of 10,000 lakes.
But you know what the average salary is in Somalia? $600 a year.
$600 a year.
And they'd rather be back there? That'd be like living here and going, gee, I wish I was living back in the Dust Bowl of the Great Depression. Things were so much better.
Live here, make 30 grand, go back to Somalia and retire. You've got 50 years of income. I wish I had 50 years of my income right now. I'd go home.
And here's the funny thing.
Victoria.
I've met some, and there are entrepreneurial, enterprising Somalians.
That's a word you made up.
Enterprising?
Entreprenizing.
Yeah, there we go.
That's enterprising.
It'll be the word of the year next year.
Travis Schumacher.
Yeah, it'll be the word of the year next year in 2026, according to Merriam-Webster's. Most of the cab drivers I've had in my recent trips to New York from Somalia love it here. Work hard.
That's right. Live in high rises.
But under the Biden administration, and it's not just Somalians, we've given so much to so many for nothing. They've become ungrateful and reliant on that money. There's been no incentive to get anyone off of it. And this includes what we've done in this country with American citizens and the reliance on government money to survive.
Scott Tompkins says, my vocabulary expands so much listening to Ash.
Andrew Alvarez says, bring up Rico churches. I agree.
It's words you can use. It is words you can use.
P. Small says there were no foam penises in the Dust Bowl era.
No kidding.
It does make you wonder, Greg. Greg Garcia asks, makes you wonder who came up with a playbook for the Somalis ripping off tax dollars. Well, the Dems. And it's not just Somalis. And listening to Ilhan Omar try to explain this away yesterday. Well, Congress. She didn't even include herself in this, even though she was in Congress. Congress acted so fast, setting up so many things to help people through COVID. Congress didn't have time to set up the guardrails. So I did a little check because she made it seem like she wasn't in Congress when this was going on.
She was.
She's been there since 2016, folks. So,
but here's what you got to
she
ask.
should have been there to set up the guardrails. And there's the other thing. Congress knows the guardrails. They pass bills all the time. 1,000-page bills with all sorts of guardrails and tell you to read it in 24 hours to figure it out. They couldn't have set up the guardrails? She's full of crap, and she's trying to avoid any sort of
accountability.
Thank you for the word. I was losing that one because I was trying to make up a new one in my head.
We're like an old married couple. I can finish your sentences.
I'm convinced if you follow the money trail somewhere, Ilhan Omar gets a bunch of it.
I heard, now, doesn't mean it's true. I heard that she's worth $7 million. And good for her. I mean, I look at, these Congress people, it's become accepted now that they all go to D.C. honest and poor, and they all come back rich and dishonest. But I don't understand how the people of Minnesota elected her and why they re-elect her. Unless there's
because she represents that enclave, and that's who populates her district. They've set them. They've settled them there on purpose.
And if you don't think that it's coming head first into Texas, you're wrong.
And it's not just there. The California exodus of Democrats into certain cities to change the voters from red to purple to blue, if you're going to use the party affiliations, it happens within our own country as well. It's designed and orchestrated.
But here's a problem I have, and I'll be curious if you share the
I
problem.
don't think Silicon Valley purposely moved to Austin, to Texas, to try to change things up in Texas and turn Texas more like California. The state they're fleeing.
Oh, they're trying to California
to recreate it here.
Texas. Brian Small says he needs an enclave. We do, but here's the deal. The problem is not the message. The problem is the messenger. There are things that I say on this program for effect to make you think that I wouldn't say to you in person. It doesn't make me a coward. It means there's a difference between a show and real life empathy, real life understanding, real life caring about people. There's a role being played here. 99% of the time, I absolutely mean everything I say. But when Donald Trump says things that make me say, I wouldn't even say that on our show, that's a problem. It is a problem when Donald Trump talks about a foreign country and goes, it's trash. They're just trashy people, and they all need to go, and I just don't even want them in our country. You're damning an entire group of people, many of whom are American citizens, many of whom are good people. Like you said, you've had good experiences with Somalis in New York. So at the end of the day,
but the ones ripping off our government, stealing from our government, those engaged in crime, they are the garbage.
That's right.
They should go.
I agree. So what he's saying isn't necessarily wrong. It's just not presidential. And Trump
But was it taken out of context again? I don't know.
No. I listened to him.
Okay.
A reporter asked him a question, and he goes, they're garbage. Their country's just a dump. And yes,
well, the country probably is.
It is all true, but it's not what a president should say. He needs to say things like, if they would embrace our help, we could help them, and the Somalis could be home and be proud. They could practice their religion, and they could still, we could help them with capitalism. Because I guarantee you they've got precious elements.
Here's the other thing. Why isn't our
minerals? Sorry.
I know what you meant.
They've got them. Yeah. They've got them, and he wants them. I guarantee it.
Why hasn't our Congress and our country held these countries accountable for all the foreign aid we've given them over the years? Because the whole purpose of that was to lift these people out of poverty and improve the living conditions of those countries. Hasn't happened. If it did happen, the average salary in Somalia wouldn't be $600, right?
Ash's cousin Jared McCrugan says that his wife has dual citizenship. This is something else that came up this week. As her mom was born in the U.S.
And I think Bernie Moreno has introduced a bill.
We don't have an issue with it. And he says you can have loyalty to the principles without being aligned solely to one flag or the other. Look, Ash has dual citizenship. He was born a Canadian. He immigrated to the U.S. and did his time, did what he had to do to become a United States citizen.
By the way, could not take any government assistance, or I would have been deported.
He's proud to have both citizenships. I won't put him on the spot, but I can tell you this, and this is just with love to our Canadian listeners. Don't make the man choose, because it would be his last chorus of, "Oh, Canada." He'll stay here. He'll stay here. He'd love to jump like LeBron, but he's going to go ahead and ride this white thing for a while, you know? He's not going to do both.
Couldn't even dribble like LeBron.
No. Yeah, Brian Small says, so he says, I've never seen proof. Do you have your papers, comrade? When you open your passport, do you have an American passport and a Canadian passport?
I do.
Eh?
I do.
So when you
And I'll be honest, traveling some places, the Canadian one is a whole lot easier to get into countries than the American one.
But you also have an Italian and a Greek passport, don't you? Yeah.
Russian, Czech.
Yeah. What is
East,
your name?
East German.
What is your
surprisingly, my East German one was given to me for life.
What is your Russian name? I don't think it's Ashley. I think that's a little too.
If I told you, I'd have to kill you.
Yeah. See, Ash is a twin. Ash is a twin. What's your twin brother's name?
I can't tell you that either. I'd
Corey.
have to kill you.
Twin brother's name is Corey. They always wanted a daughter, so they.
Why are you fronting him out on this show?
Because Corey's proud to be affiliated with us. He's probably listening. He just doesn't like to sign in and admit it. Carrie Bump says, good morning. The sound is better. Carrie, thank you. Yes, Adam Daughtry, I agree 100%. Good to see you yesterday at the South Texas Transportation Convention, or I think I got that right. His name is Vladimir.
Conference, I think.
Conference. Ben Galvan, hats off to Ben Galvan. Great Victorian, great citizen. For 12 years, Ben Galvan and Civil Corp have been the lead sponsor of that event in conjunction with the Chamber of Commerce.
Makes sense. They do all the right-of-way work, don't they? Or a lot
Jeff
of
Lyon doing a great job with that. It was fun yesterday. We got to, I won't not bore you, but Ash has already heard this story because I came in like a little kid. I got to meet an astronaut yesterday, and that's still a big deal to me. I'm sorry. This guy's an astronaut, man. Air Force Academy grad. I think he was the first Hispanic in space. Awesome guy. Sidney Gutierrez. You can look him up.
So are we planning space travel from here? Is that why he was at the transportation conference?
No, but it's interesting, and I didn't finish telling you this. I gave Cody, he's got a company called Vaya. Because he was Hispanic, and some of you may go, oh, but I thought it was cool. They would say, like, Houston, yep, we're good to go. So-and-so, good to go. And they finally get around to the pilots, to the astronauts, and when he said, yes, Houston, we're good to go, they said, well, Vaya con Dios. Because he was the lead, he was the captain or whatever, the mission control, the commander.
They used to ask me that. I'd say, da.
Da, comrade. I thought it was very cool, though, that and he spoke, and he was a test pilot. Just an amazing life, an amazing gentleman. But he's got a company that uses, literally, he's an astronaut, recycled plastic to make a vortex. So they take a piece of solid rocket fuel that's made out of recycled plastic, and they create a vortex in it, which is like a little tornado, and they thought that this tornado would help mix the fuel better, solid fuel rocket, and that it would go down maybe about a third of the way. They didn't expect the life of the power to be very long. They found out that as the plastic was dissolved, it's like picture like plastic maybe infused with diesel. I'm just trying to simplify it because I don't understand it either. The vortex went all the way to the end, and they said that they get almost the same thrust that they get, which is like 7 million tons of thrust at a time. It's ridiculous. And he made the comment in the meeting, he goes, I've been waiting to have a meeting with Elon Musk, thinking he might buy us. He goes, or maybe we'll buy him. And he laughed. but the first thing I thought of when he was talking about this is a more efficient rocket engine, notice that the guy's also got a aeronautical engineering degree from the Air Force Academy. He's not just, a flight junkie.
No, he's smart. Andy Rockovich says the problem is not if they're good people or not. We don't need people coming here that don't want to embrace our culture. Here's the problem. America stopped being a melting pot in the 1960s.
That's right.
And that is the problem. Before that, you assimilated, but people kept their cultures and their traditions on their own.
Yeah, you had the Italian section. You had the, they called them WAP, without papers, like they came here, and then you had the Jewish part, you had the black part. I'm thinking about New York City. Harlem, you think black. It's, Central Park.
Bronx was all Italians at the time, right?
Yeah, so I mean, it's just the way it is, and it essentially, I don't know where the Irish
and
were. They were on the outskirts.
Probably in the Bronx too, but they had their own blocks.
Yeah,
and every city did this.
And there was no welfare, there was no SNAP.
Greens Edition, that was all Germans originally.
Pulled themselves up, realized that there was opportunity here.
But they all wanted to. Fingers of fire over there. I could hear the typing of the keyboard over here.
He's billing someone else during our show.
No, he's not.
Folks, if you need Brand Us, you probably do need
brandus.org.
Commander Cody can help you. It's .org, not .com.
Thank you.
The .com is being held hostage.
$77,000.
If you'd like to have .com, you could. Palace Bingo next Thursday, the 11th, where friends meet friends.
Did you write off that loss if I bought it and then sold it to you for?
If you want to buy it, I'll write off the loss. That sounds like a great plan.
Come on out to Palace Bingo next Thursday. That's where you'll see me and Ash. Ash, by the way, the Thursday, and then Ash's birthday, I think, is on the 12th.
It is.
So be a good time if you want to come out and pay homage to Ash. If you'd like to bring him a cupcake, you could do that. Junior Samples made a note.
Bring me some beef jerky instead.
As I spoke. Bring you some boiled whiskey.
Or some boudin or some sausage.
There you go.
I'll bring my own boiled whiskey, thanks.
USA Concrete Coatings. You want to sand it, seal it, stain it, paint it, anything with concrete. USA Concrete Coatings can level it, seal the cracks. They'll take care of you. Reach out to 578-HOME. Atzenhover and Atzenhover.com. Atzenhover for your next Chevy or Mitsubishi and all types of pre-owned vehicles. They've got them.
All your servicing of any make and model, from oil changes to fluid top-offs to wiper blades, they can do that all.
I challenge you, if your vehicle needs an oil change, just call the Atzenhofer main number. Ask for Adela. If you'll call and just tell Adela, Wade and Carter sent me, it would mean the world to me. 5-star
service when you deal with Adela. I'm not saying the others aren't any good, but that's the only one I've ever dealt with over there.
She's fantastic.
She's so good.
Adela. She's about 5'0", and she's
Spitfire.
She's awesome and eager to please. And if you call Adela and tell her Wade and Carter sent you, it would mean a lot to me. Went Services, went for all your generator needs. Turnkey, Generac, Kohler, Cummins, Briggs & Stratton.
My neighbors should have called them with the amount of extension cords they were stringing out to get all their Christmas lights up.
Oh, man.
Probably invested more in extension cords than they would have had they called Went and said, hey, I need one more plug outside.
Absolutely. No doubt about it. Chesnick Furniture, Chesnick and Love, make your house a home. Specials all the time on bedding, Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster.
I had a good chat with Bobby,
Posturepedic.
I guess a week or so ago. And
he never liked you.
No, that's what he said about you. Talked about the bedding, and they carry it all. There's no better investment than a good bed. You spend 2/3 of your life in it.
I'd rather sleep with Dawn on a floor than on a good bed by myself, but I have both, thanks to Chesnick. I will tell you this. Here's a secret for you. The Tempur-Pedic folks, the Stearns & Foster folks, and the Sealy Posturepedic folks are all owned by the same people. It's the same company.
What?
So you can find
Simmons in the same group?
I'm not positive, but I know that to be a true statement. You can now get a Sealy Posturepedic with a Tempur-Pedic topper on it, things like that.
Wow, that's true.
Get by Chesnick. Just trust us. Chesnick and Love, make your house a home. So we've disparaged the president. We've disparaged religions. And people get all excited because they're like, it certainly makes the left cringe. The left would just bow down, open the border, let all these people in. I saw a conversation with Richard Gere the other day. Richard Gere, the little actor, who said, you really think these people, not talking about Somalians, just foreigners that are illegal, You think they're any different than us? You think they bleed different than us? These people deserve to be here. No, they don't.
Nobody deserves to be anywhere.
Look, you go to a Cowboys game and walk up, and by the way, walk up in your Washington Commanders jersey and tell them that you want to go in and you want assistance for the snack bar and you want a free seat. They're just going to laugh at you. Go to Victoria Country Club, show up with your clubs, and walk in and go, I know I'm not a member, but I'm ready to play. And no, I don't have any money. Put it on somebody else's tab. That's exactly what's happening here. That's exactly tell me I'm wrong. What's different about it? I don't walk into Victoria Country Club and say I deserve to be here. And trust me, Victoria Country Club is more of a melting pot than most of our city. It's not some elitist white snob place. They'd love to have you as a member. But you're going to pay your way. Why is it that when we say we don't want you coming here illegally, it's unbelievable. Yeah, Peter McNally says he was born in an Irish-Italian community in New York. He says, don't forget the Irish. My great-grandmother remembered the signs. Irish, no need to apply. I agree. Pete, that's the deal. Discrimination has been around. This is white on Anglo on Anglo, Caucasian on Caucasian discrimination. And yet, I read a deal the other day, and the black folks are all upset again, and they're talking about reparations. We need reparations. And I'm like, you know what? So let's take a number. I saw a lady say with a straight face, she thinks every black person in this country deserves at least $300,000.
Jasmine Crockett? Wasn't her?
If something dumb she would say. What I want then is I want to take that number and let's back out all the urban blight. Let's back out a couple of $1 million for every cop that's been shot by a black person in an inner city. Let's take out all the damage done by rioting and looting and starting fires and theft. When you watch, I have seen a few.
A lot of it lately might have been Antifa.
I've seen a few where you see some idiotic white guy who needs to be shot, but it's not typically the young white teenager that rushes an Adidas store and grabs all the shoes and rushes out. I want to deduct from the reparations all the problems they've caused as a race, because it's stereotypical, right? I mean, you've got to say blacks need reparations, as if white people haven't ever been enslaved, as if the Native Americans in this country weren't enslaved.
The Irish may have been the most enslaved population on the globe at one point.
Well, here's the problem. What nobody really wants to address, because in your mind, they're different than you because they have a different pigment in their skin. See, there's just not enough Native Americans to really make enough noise for us to all admit how badly they've been treated through the centuries.
Terribly.
Much worse than blacks. Much worse than blacks. They knew that they didn't, for example, in stereotype, but in reality, they didn't handle alcohol well, so they put them on reservations and kept them drunk. That's what they did. You think the Indians were red because they were Indian? They were red because the United States government gave them booze, killed them when they could, aborted their kids, sterilized their men. They did it all the time. I don't get it. I told Cody this morning, what you're going to find someday, we're all going to be in front of Almighty God, and he's going to say, you talk about DEI. You want to talk about opportunity. I sent the cure for cancer. I sent the way to turn salt water into electricity. I sent the cure for pollution. And I sent it out of my benevolence to the inner city of Chicago to a black single mother. And she aborted it. And that's on all of us. We've all let that garbage go on too long. That's what you're going to find out. You may not agree with that, and that's okay.
I think it's been sent. I think that stuff's already here. We just haven't. I don't even think it's in that.
Well, you're
Exact-
a conspiracy, bro.
But
You think there's? No, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just clarifying. You think there's probably, if not a prevention for, a cure for most cancers, and that Big Pharma squelches it? I do too. I do too. There's no money in eliminating disease. Not to mention,
I mean, look at Nikola Tesla. The guy was a brilliant genius,
got to be Russian, doesn't
and
it?
all his papers just disappeared when he died. Come on, they were afraid of him because
Japanese.
the Rockefellers couldn't make money. The Gettys couldn't make money on oil if all of Tesla's
True story.
hydrogen-powered inventions worked.
True
When
story.
all you need is water.
See, all they had to do.
Maybe that's why there's such a shortage of water, because they know this is coming at some point. Somebody else is going to turn this stuff up. And if there's no water, you don't. Well, we got a shortage of water, so we can't use hydrogen, but we got lots of oil and gas.
It's funny, though, if the Gettys and the Rockefellers had thought just one click bigger and realized they were in the energy business and not in the oil business, we'd probably have better. Why isn't Exxon in the lithium battery business? Why wouldn't Exxon with
It's Energizer and Duracell
That's right.
own it.
That's right.
Yeah, 20 shopping days left till Christmas. Just be careful. I don't know if it's here yet, but there are reports that we're going to switch gears a little bit. Thieves are using Wi-Fi jammers to screw up your doorbell signals, your rings, and the like. And basically, no longer do you get a nice, fresh image of the face of the person stealing a package off your porch. It's all blurred and pixelated, and so, yeah.
Some people are just predisposed to steal.
Yeah, you'd think with all the effort they go through to it, if they just put a quarter of that effort into finding a legitimate job, they'd be fine, right?
The president lights the national Christmas tree. I think it's just a shame that he and Melania have to stand behind a wall of bulletproof glass.
Governor Dan Patrick announcing plans to create the new Little Texan Savings Fund. $1,000 in stock market investments for every Texas newborn. It costs about $400 million a year, and would require a constitutional amendment to make it permanent.
I don't know how I feel about that. It's just the government babysitting your kid.
Is this different than Trump accounts?
Yeah, it's a Texas one, by the sounds of
But
it.
the idea builds on the new federal program that
Yeah.
invests with that. So I
And the
guess you
same-
could get both.
yeah.
You could get both.
I guess you could.
So the kid's
Would-
going to watch his account go, I get $47,000 when I turn, 18. I'm going to buy a new car. Then that's it. 5 years later, it'll be a bunch of 5-year-old
If the
cars
parents
and
are on,
broke kids.
if the parents are on government assistance, do you deduct that
Should.
$1,000 and the interest that account earns every year from
Yeah.
their payments? I don't know.
If you're on government assistance, I'm not sure you should vote. I'm not sure you should. Did you know that
Or-
something like
or-
40% of this country, maybe even 48% of this country is on some type of government assistance? And I don't know if that includes, Medicare. I don't know. That's right. H.R. Mallory, you're exactly right. Billy Bob Thornton on Landman, which has a lot of political messages in it. Reminds me a lot of the show MASH back in the day. Billy Bob says, if Exxon and Chevron thought they were the future, that'd be like wind turbines and all that, they'd be building them everywhere. I saw a deal yesterday off of
Good thing all the land in Texas is privately owned.
off of
Most of it.
Europe, but they'd make it so if it was profitable, they'd find a way to lease it from you. I found if you're driving, especially if you go like say from Victoria to Refugio, you pass or Victoria to Tivoli. If you go down and go to Rockport, you pass in real close proximity to a number of these wind turbines. And I challenge you when you look, they're all white when they're new. When you see them later on, they've all got these brown and bronze streaks coming down the sides of them. It's because they notoriously leak oil. And I couldn't help but think about that when I saw an off-the-coast wind farm yesterday, like Norway or somewhere, And there were thousands of these windmills out in this shallow bay.
How much of that oil's
There's
leaching?
oil all over that
into
bay. I guarantee
yeah.
you that thing's got a sheen on it like you can't imagine.
We can't have tankers in certain parts of the world
No.
because but if they leak, ooh boy, we're in trouble.
Yeah. Also saw a deal yesterday. You know, I told you that I went on Wednesday to the Matagorda Ship Channel Improvement Program, town hall, if you will, that they had, Corps of Engineers and all that. They want to take our Matagorda. I say it's ours because I look at Victoria and Calhoun counties as kind of like Harris County. It's closer to get from here to the port in Calhoun County than it is to go from the Woodlands to the Houston port. So they want to drop it down to like 47 feet at the entrance and 45 in the channel. It's like 39 feet right now. It's not a huge expansion. They're promoting, if you go down 77 south towards the valley, you get to Raymondville, which is about a half hour north of Harlingen. And if you take a left right there, you can go over 20 miles and you're in Port Mansfield, which has a natural cut. It's called the East Cut. Goes straight out into the Gulf. It's wide enough for a big boat to come through. It's man-made. But it's also only 17 feet deep. And they're wanting to make it 45 feet deep and turn that into a place where cargo vessels could come in and then you could truck them out of there. And I started thinking about the logistical problems of that you don't really own land there. You kind of lease it and there's no infrastructure. There's like 2 restaurants and like 1 gas station. And, it would be great for Raymondville because it's only 20 miles away.
Yeah.
But this is where they're at. They have a free trade zone that is McAllen, and that encompasses all of Hidalgo County, and they want to go into Willacy County, which is adjacent, and expand their McAllen free trade zone, saying this would help Texans. And I thought, I go every year. I go down to Port Mansfield to go fishing in the winter, and it's the last great unspoiled place in Texas, period. The last one. And
It'll destroy it.
they'll destroy it. Yeah, it's interesting.
Fly into Victoria and look at all the solar panels that have been erected in this county.
Just
recent
pray
years.
there's no hail because then all you have is a bunch of trash.
Insurance claims.
Yeah.
Great for your day job.
What they need is
I think the brother man is going to call us in a couple minutes. We probably need to take our final break.
a big tarp that you could deploy when the conditions are right for hail. That would just be a buffer between, you know what I mean?
I mean, the good thing is we don't get a lot of hail here.
No, not a lot, but when we do, we get a hell of a lot of hail. Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. Allen's your go-to tow-to. Reach out to Allen for all your towing requirements. You need to get a vehicle from here to there. You have a big rig on the side of the road. Allen's has a 75-ton crane. They've uprighted and hauled off everything you can think of through the decades that they've been in business. Allen has no peer in Victoria County. Veracruz Restaurant, Chicken Fried Friday. Get in today and have a chicken fried steak. It's the gravy, Ash. It's the gravy.
I've got a great idea for Veracruz. Tomorrow's the Lighted Christmas Parade downtown. You're going to be Christmas shopping. Christmas parties are springing up.
Right.
Call them today. Get an enchilada casserole. Throw it in your fridge.
brilliant.
You've got it all weekend.
Pure brilliance. White Trash Services, 550-1826. Let White Trash help you. You're in the counties. You're in the No Bull Network, Calhoun, DeWitt, Goliad, Carnes, Edisco, Frio, Jim Hogg, all those counties.
361-550-1826.
Call them. Let them help you.
Get a dumpster, or actually just get a bin,
We preempt this
and they can
for the brother man.
They can get it there now. All
See what
your
the brothers
Christmas trash can go in there. Then they'll come.
Don't leave him. He can get confused. Good morning, great one.
Well, thank you. Good morning to y'all.
How are you, sir?
I'm good, sir. I just want to say good morning to everybody out there, and special thank you. And to Michael Cloud. Was that very nice the other day, boys?
It was apropos. It was very nice that he did that. And for those of you that don't know, you'll see it later. But Michael Cloud paid
last night.
tribute to the great one on the house floor the other day. It was very, very nice. And
It was great, and I just want to say thank you to Michael and Mark and all those good folks up
it
there,
was very
and all
nice.
the many people praying down here. And I just want to take a minute, just a second or two, to say thank you to everybody. And Brent, you and Ash are terrific, and happy birthday, boys! I know all your birthdays are running together right now.
Yes, sir. And look,
God bless you.
we want to lump you in with the First State Bank of Louise Cowboys update. What exactly went wrong last night, brother? Did you watch any of that game?
Well,
Ran into a desperate
I thought
Lions
just a
team.
little bit that they just didn't have enough. Detroit was home. That was the difference. Detroit was home.
Cowboys
And,
effectively eliminated from the playoffs. I saw where the opportunity is now like at 9% probability that they make it.
Very small chance.
Yeah.
Two events, though, I want to mention. Ash mentioned one, City of Victoria Nighttime Lighting Christmas Parade and Tree Lighting Ceremony, 5:30 downtown, Saturday, tomorrow, 6 o'clock parade. I'm judging. I'm one of the judges. And tonight, 2-day event, Christmas in Goliad. If you like another wonderful parade, small town, beautiful. Christmas in Goliad Nighttime Lighting Parade, 7 o'clock tonight. Shopping around the square. Tomorrow, Santa comes in on a reindeer. Just wanna
That's
mention
awesome.
that. And I heard that Texas and Michigan might be hooking up for a bowl game. Is that what you heard, sir?
I have not heard that yet. I've heard they're going to play in the Duke's Mayonnaise Bowl or the Pop-Tart Bowl.
Pop-Tart Bowl has become quite the media spectacle. It's actually fun to watch.
I decided, brother, that when the national championship opportunities are gone, I'm somewhat disinterested. You know,
I'm pretty much disinterested too.
I think the
Don't
bowl
you
games
see it?
have suffered because of the college football playoff, in my opinion.
Yeah, you got some good games this weekend. Just no Texas. Or I don't know. You never know what happens after tomorrow. We'll see. But anyway, I want to thank you, boys, and I'm going to let y'all finish up the show. Thank you, and God bless y'all.
hey, we love you,
Appreciate it.
brother.
Appreciate you, brother.
Hey,
Thanks
you
for
keep
calling
getting
in.
better. You sound great. We
Yep.
love you, and I hope you have a
Oh, I
great.
sound
Yep.
better. I'm close. I'm close.
Good. 'Cause I
I
can't.
took my
I
last
can't wait till you
yesterday.
get back up these stairs and join us in person.
Brother,
again.
if I were
Oh, I'm
you,
That's the goal.
brother, if I were you, I would play this forever and say, boys, you know I can't come up those stairs.
No, I'm coming. You know I'm a fighter.
Go,
And I'll be
amen.
there.
Amen.
Love you guys.
Hey,
Thank
we love you too, boss. Go get them.
Happy birthday, Ash, and everybody.
Thank you,
Man,
You're
brother.
awesome, brother Gary.
God bless you.
Thank you, babe.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
brother. What's going
So,
on with my banner? They used to.
Let me give
oh,
you
there's some
something here.
timer on it now. I don't.
yeah,
like
it said
the
like
timer.
10 seconds or something.
Yeah, I
Let
gotta
me give you
fix
something
that.
here to let you know whether it's real or not. That it matters, but it's all things Texas, right? The number 2 Lady Longhorn basketball team moves to 9-0 after beating the number 11 North Carolina Tar Heel ladies team, who only moves to 8-2. They were 8-1. Texas was 8-0. Texas beats them by 15. Ash, 79-64 last night.
BJ
That's
Nelson,
what it's come to for me.
yeah.
Women's basketball.
BJ Nelson says solar panels have been heavily government subsidized. Hopefully that'll end soon. I'd like to see the government get out of subsidizing any energy company.
There's no reason for the government to subsidize Exxon. I mean, it makes no sense.
There's no reason for the government to subsidize Solyndra. Oh wait, saw how that worked out. There's no reason for what I don't know, or maybe if they certainly not oil anymore, but other maybe nuclear power for a little bit, so we get more nuclear power in here instead of building windmills and solar panels
Yeah.
farms. But the government doesn't need to be in that business of being in business.
Yeah, no doubt. H.R. Mallory points out Refugio goes to the semifinals. Sinton plays tonight.
Edna's game has been moved to Dub Ferris Stadium, I believe,
According to Commander Cody's multi-check.
Gustafson or Gustafson, depending on how you pronounce it. If you're from one of the northern
Gustafson, what did he say?
countries.
Did he roll his G? Gustafson. I don't know what he's doing.
I think the inner
he's
inner-
ignoring
inner-
us
the
right
inner
now is what he's
fin-
doing.
the inner fin came out of him.
He's ignoring us.
Yeah.
That's fine.
As long as you know it's true. That's all.
Andrew
that matters.
Alvarez says we have a heck of a solar salesperson here in
Put them on your
Victoria.
roof.
Thomas
I don't
Rendon.
have a problem with putting them on your roof for your own
Yeah,
personal
it could
use.
help. Yeah.
But look at anybody that any jurisdiction that's tracking the power that's being provided to the grids by solar and wind, it's so minimal. And depending on where you live at certain times, it's negligible. And they've had to fire up gas plants. They're converting coal into natural gas. We got so much natural gas, we just flare it off over in Cuero.
What do you do about situations such as air travel, where in theory, with the increase in maintenance cost and the aging of the fleets, and so the government for years has given tax advantages to airlines as long as they are expanding. So that's why you always see Southwest Airlines adding 2 new gates at Corpus Christi International Airport that removes the taxation to a degree from their enterprise. And yet, as much as I'm a guy that says the government shouldn't be in the middle of anything, the free market should rule, there's also certain basic infrastructure needs that are there. You've got to have them. We've got to have air travel. So when that happens, it's almost like we've got to have fire stations. It would be very difficult to privatize our fire department and just say, oh, no, the free market's going to determine what a fireman makes. And I've got Brent's fire department, and I hire these guys to give them all a 10% raise. We have a 20% faster response time, but you do pay us a tip when we go. It's an extra $500 when we come out. I don't know. Would that work?
BJ, give us a call on that.
BJ Nelson, give us a call real quick, 894-4020, will you?
Curious about the new exits from the high schools.
Yeah.
Here's part of the problem, though. I think if the government got out of the subsidizing business, gas prices would go up.
Right.
We'd be paying more to heat and cool our houses.
There you go.
I think that's part of the issue.
By the way, Ms. Nelson, before we start, thank you for being accessible. Thank you for always calling when we ask. It means a lot. How's your morning going?
Well, it's early, but I do what I'm told.
Yeah, we appreciate it. We appreciate it. How was the workshop
take
last
note,
night?
Scott. Take note, Scott.
How was the workshop last night? I know we've talked about
It was
$238
amazing.
million. We've talked about closing O'Connor and adding on to Torres. We've talked about, I've heard about closing Shields. Where are we at?
It was great. It was great. I think usually it takes about 24 hours, I think, for it to get on the VIC website, but I highly recommend people to just go watch it, or as I do, you're driving down the road, just put it on your phone, run it through your speakers and just listen to it.
How exciting.
'Cause you could, I know, it's like you could listen to, top 40, or you can listen to that. So I'm amazed because I was told years ago we'll never have another exit at either one of the high schools. Well, Super Sheila, where there's a will, there's a way, and she said that on record. There's something about it's going to come off of the student parking at East and then come onto the feeder, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then from West, same thing, come off of that student parking area, and it would be a dedicated turn. I haven't seen the map or a picture of it because I think that's kind of close to the Texan, but I'm sure that people smarter than me know traffic patterns.
So the designated turn would then turn you onto the loop, like going towards your office?
No, it would go on to 87.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
It would come out to the north side of the Texan. That makes
Correct.
perfect sense. And then see what you've got there.
Or they got to fix the lights then. They got to make sure that those north-south lights are.
Not to
Yeah,
mention,
sure.
500
Better.
yards away, you've got another north-south light. I don't know about
Mhm.
that. But, hey, we need something.
Yeah, no.
The
Absolutely.
ingress and egress
I
is
have-
terrible.
I have worried about the safety of that. I remember when my son was there, I said, if there's ever any, thing goes south, I said, you just start running toward our house or, running toward the Shears.
That's right.
Because, you weren't going to get your car out. 'Cause
Absolutely.
the traffic is so bad. Yeah, I'm thrilled that we think outside the box at VIC. I'm thrilled all the new ideas, all the wonderful opportunities for our students. We really need our community to be engaged. One of the amazing things that I saw last night that Sheila talked about was she compared to districts our size, the bonds they have passed. Because so many people have said, well, why didn't BIC save the money and have the ability to do this? Well, that's not how it works. And I was in that same camp. I was saying that, why don't they save that money? Well, think about, if your heater goes out this time of year, do you have a bucket of money sitting there to go, oh, guess I'll get a new heater? No. So it's the same thing with our school districts. We have to pass bonds to do all the upkeep and everything. And some of those schools are almost 80 years old. I was looking at the date.
That's right.
So at this point, what we need from the community is listening, is feedback, is realize new sheriff in town, board is different. We are not the same school district that did the consolidation 25 years ago. We are not the same community that did all that 25 years ago.
Well,
those were decisions made. So we need people to have open ears, listen to what's going on, and for the next, and if the board passes and decides to go and do that, because it hadn't been decided. If they decide to do it, to have a bond, if we decide, to put it on the election for May, we need people with open hearts to listen to the details.
I'll give you tomorrow's news today, even though you're part of the process. You will pass that decision, and you will attempt to pass a bond next May. I know that there's an M&O function involved in every year's school budget, and my only fear, in the same breath that I tell you that I will vote for that bond, I will vote for that bond because I believe that you do need the money. Past sins aside, lack of proper planning, ignored, old board decisions forgotten, I say you need the money. That said, there's just nothing sexy about it. There's nothing like, and wait till you see the new baseball stadium. The problem is you're going to get $238 million from me because I'm going to vote for it. And by the way, folks, our tax rate is down to like 88 cents. It's
incredibly low.
Yes, although the price of my home has tripled. But anyway, forget the math.
But we don't have any control over that.
Right, of course not, even though you have representatives on the CAT. But at any rate, at the end of the day, you need the money. But all Victorians are going to say is, my tax dollars, he said, see that building? It's got a new roof. You can't see it, but I paid for it. See that building over there? The AC works. You didn't know, but I paid for that. There's just nothing for Victorians to hang their hat on and go, I'm so glad I passed that bond because little Billy sits in an air-conditioned school that doesn't leak. Because right now we have schools that leak. I know for a fact that Shalimer Elementary leaks every time it rains. It's just unbelievable.
That's one of the newest schools we built.
And there's nobody to just go out there and fix the leak.
Yeah, but still, a 15-year-old building shouldn't have a leaky roof.
But I mean, but it's going to be fixed for $238 million, which is more than we spent to build the two high schools. It's craziness.
Can we build better? Can we build better buildings this time and cost less? I mean, I think like we're talking like $750 a square foot average cost for like these sorts of things.
That's dumb. Can't we just have school outside, like a big pavilion?
I'm not saying that, but I mean, can't somebody? I mean, I don't know. It's just the question I have is these experts that design these buildings, they don't seem to be very good experts at them when 15 years later you're needing roof repairs and AC repairs and
here's
that
the
sort
deal.
of thing.
If they're only going to last 15 years, then let's just build disposable buildings because we all agree that probably in 15 years our needs are going to change. We're going to say close Torres or close O'Connor, move those kids to Torres, which to me means portable buildings. That's what it means to me. And when that gets done, well, why not 15 years from now, just bulldoze it all and put up a barn dominium that'll work.
I will tell you, Torres was built to add on to. And so many of our schools, we are uber fortunate because they do have a lot of land near them.
Yes.
So, I mean, think about it. When Mission Valley, we built our new Mission Valley school, which is state of the art. Which, Ash, have you seen our new Mission Valley
Yeah,
school?
very nice.
Okay. So they were able to build on part of it while the students were still in class. So that's kind of one of my biggest concerns is interruption while this is all going on. And that's what's being discussed, even as we speak. But the planning that our admin people are, for so long, before I was even on the board, I heard the White House has too many people, admin is too much. Trust me, that has been addressed. It's being
Sheila's
addressed
awesome.
daily. She's on it.
Super Sheila will fire somebody. Yeah, I like her. She'll can you. But this, BJ, this is something to think about.
But you don't even know she did it.
No, but you know why? Because those people weren't really essential. So here's the deal. You need to, for example, if they're going to close Shields and put some of those kids at Crane and some of them somewhere else, then bulldoze that school. Bulldoze it, sell that land, and let somebody go in there and put affordable multifamily housing in there. That's a great location for a wonderful condo complex. People could have ownership, affordable housing, and it's right across the street from about to be reopened Dairy Tree. Guess what?
Is that going to be the Carter complex?
The minute you build affordable housing right there where Shields is on that southwest corner, guess what? The community reopens Dick's Food Stores with a grocery store that services that whole community because you've now got 500 people.
Define affordable housing to me.
I think somebody ought to be able to move into a place that they can rent for $1,000 a month or less. I think somebody ought to be able to move into a place that they could maybe potentially own for under $200,000. I mean, I think that you should be able to build condos there that people want to live in that are maybe 1,800 square feet. You could build 100 of them there.
I'm curious when I see similar sized homes in other locales that sell for half of what they sell for here.
Where is that? I haven't seen that. All I've seen is more. I think we're more affordable than lots of places. I would love to see somebody.
I drive up I can't remember where I was driving, somewhere north of here not too long ago. Houses in the 150s.
Chicago. Oh, no. Detroit. You were in Detroit.
No, not Detroit.
Callie Frommy says my idea is impossible. I see things as they should be, and
we see
why
the.
not?
Now, by the way, we're at the end of this show.
Yeah, no, we're almost over the show.
Okay.
But I'll tell you this: I don't disagree.
Thanks, BJ.
Impossible.
Appreciate that.
BJ, thank you for all you do, ma'am. That
Have a good
BJ
weekend.
Nelson, she's easy. Now my bride's calling me. You want to get Dawn on the air? Hey, folks, it's the top of the hour. We're going to get out of here. We wish you nothing but the best. Have a great weekend.
Yep.
Think outside the box, people. The ISD should bulldoze Shields and sell that lot. What a great piece of property right in the middle of town. Catholics probably put a cemetery there. Y'all have a great day. We'll talk to you Monday.
Bye, folks.